Hi, my name is Rachel, and today we are talking about and breaking down episode 1 of Netflix's new show, Shadow and Bone. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video. I do a bunch of Shadow and Bone content. Apparently, this is something that I have started doing and now am on a roll and have no plans to stop. Sometimes my husband Carlos joins me, so be sure to subscribe and go ahead and check out our playlist down below of all of our other Shadow and Bone videos. We have a bunch of other content and we have more coming. So today I'm going to break down episode 1 of Shadow and Bone, give some of my thoughts. So let's jump right in. So right off the bat, the episode starts by setting the stage for how our two main characters, Alina and Mal, have been shaped by their life growing up in the Ravkin orphanage in Karamzin together. So now Mal is a fighter and Alina is a cartographer, and both are part of the First Army. It very quickly shows that the First Army are considered expendable, while the Second Army is treated with reverence. Alina and Mal finally meet up after being apart from each other. Soon after, they find out that Mal is going to be going into the Shadow Fold. Now, this differs from the book. In the show, we just are finding out that Mal is going in, and Alina is going to be going off with the rest of the cartographers. Mal was supposed to be going with her unit, but instead is going to be going off into the Shadow Fold and crossing into West Ravka if they survive. In the books, it was known that Mal and Alina were both going into the Shadow Fold and going off into West Ravka, Mal to be doing some tracking and Alina to be doing more cartography work. So this change is great because it feels like higher stakes. It's a very simple switch that allows you to feel like you're clutching your chest, worried about the characters right off the bat. Next, we head over to Ketterdam, where Jesper Fahey is gambling. He shoots through a fake Zemeni coin, and that just introduces us to two of Jesper's main character traits, which is he's very funny, he loves to gamble, and he is a sharpshooter. And then we get introduced to Kaz Brecker by him saying this great line of not wanting Jesper to scare off the pigeons.
No loud noises at the table, Jesper. Scare off the pigeons.
Which is how customers are referred to in Ketterdam in the Six of Crows book. And I love that the first intro we get of Inej is her attempting to sneak up on Kaz, something she only successfully did once in the book, and that actually led him to being interested in hiring her. So we find out that she is just starting to work for Kaz up around a few months before where we're seen here. She gives him the lead to what is going to be the Alina job, giving the audience a glimpse of how talented she is. She tells Kaz about the lead on a 1 million Kruga job, which sets them on the path, as I said, towards Alina. She tries to tell Kaz that she got some of this information from a girl at the menagerie, saying the other girl is like her, in the hopes that Kaz will pay off the other girl's indenture as well. Kaz says he only invests in a one-of-a-kind, and there is no one like Inej. This is so conflicting as the watcher, because on the one hand, aw, but on the other hand, damn, Kaz, you have to be so ruthless. Mal sees Alina being bullied for being Shu, not given any food by the cooks, and goes off to steal her a snack from the Grisha tent. Side note, real quick, I'm actually going to leave a link down below in the description box to some Twitter threads from people within the Asian community who watched the show and are discussing this whole addition of adding racism and xenophobia to the plot. I'm white, so I can't comment on it, but I do encourage you to listen to what those reviewers have to say about it. Not encouraging you to discuss it with them, just listen to what they have to say. We can love a show and criticize it at the same time, and definitely want to listen to reviewers who are own voices. So Mal goes to steal Alina some food from the Second Army tent. He actually runs into Zoya, and she suggests they have a good tumble since it's the night before they're both going into the fold. But unlike Book Mal, Show Mal declines and heads off to meet Alina, which is a nice change from the books, because in the books, Mal goes to Alina's tent to ask for advice on how to woo Zoya. So I'm really glad they left that out, because I really hated that part of the book. So he declines Zoya's advances and heads off to meet Alina and give her a surprise snack, which honestly, the way to my heart is also surprise snacks, so I just really relate to Alina here. We get introduced to Pekka Rollins, and he is ruthless from the jump. He's way scarier than he was in the book. He didn't really take much of a hands-on approach in the book, so seeing him this ruthless and intimidating is actually really exciting, and I'm really glad that they went this direction. So Alina smartly devises a plan to get herself on the skiff so that Mal won't be going alone, but unfortunately, what she did leads her entire unit to be sent along as well. On the skiff, they're attacked, a couple of her unit dies straight away, and then Mal is attacked by a Volcra. He says the same line as he says in the book, which is, "I'll meet you in our meadow," which is really sweet, but then Alina is grabbed by a Volcra and releases her sun summoning power. This is basically exactly what happened in the books. Alexei, one of her crew who ran off of the skiff, sees this happen. Then we learn that there's a bit of a time jump into Ketterdam because Alexei is actually the person who Inej saw brought in by the merchant Dreesen. Kaz gets them into a meeting with Dreesen, and a Heartrender helps Alexei to talk through what he's seen. He tells them Alina Starkov summoned the sun, and then Dreesen shoots him. Then Dreesen gives the crows till midnight to devise a plan through the fold and back before he'll agree to work with them and give them an advance. My thoughts so far are I love what they've done combining the crows with the events of Shadow and Bone. I personally found the books in the original Shadow and Bone trilogy to be a bit average. They're a little bit hard for me to read because I really did not like being in Alina's perspective all the time, whereas Six of Crows is narrated differently and we get this perspective from many different characters, which just made the books so much better than the original trilogy despite being in the same world. So combining the two really makes me like the characters in the original trilogy more. Maybe because you get a break from them, or maybe because the acting is just absolutely excellent. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm loving what they're doing. I also love what they've done so far with Mao, taking out so many of the issues that I had with him in the books right from the jump and making TV show Mao absolutely lovable. I also think they've done a great job with special effects. The Volcra are terrifying. I did not imagine them to be that scary. I thought of them as more like big bats, but these are of the stuff of nightmares, honestly. And the fold is even more intense and intimidating than I had imagined while reading the books. The soundtrack is fantastic. I love that Kaz gets his own theme song that's heavy in violin and very ominous in sound. Overall, they've just gone above and beyond with these small details, and I think this episode sets the stage for a great season. That's my overview for episode 1. Let me know your thoughts down below. What was your favorite moment from episode 1? Tell me all the things. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.